So of course, the first thing I would like to say is welcome, also on behalf of our colleagues here, organizers of the SAC conference, Yohei in my left and Toshi over there on the right. So thanks a lot for organizing this. It was a lot of hassle, but we're starting exactly on time. So amazing Japanese efficiency. Thank you. Also, thank you for organizing the rest of the things for the post-event of the meeting, including the dinner. So I think before we start, we need to give them a big thank you. Okay. The second thing, of course, I would like to say is, well, to say how sad we are to see another large to moderate earthquake attacking and destroying our heritage across the world. And we had this recent earthquake in Morocco, and Khalid will show us a little bit as an extra presentation of the seismic event just now. As you probably know well, and we are very well aware, we had this large also earthquake in Turkey that was in the news for a long time. And we hope there is a presentation. We're not 100% sure because Ahmed didn't send it, but hopefully we'll present it by the end of the session. So the day will be quite long, or this session will be quite long. You have received the agenda, and so we are starting on time. We'll go very briefly over the minutes, over several aspects of the committee. We'll have time in the end for any item you'd like to state, and we'll have several presentations from some of our colleagues today. So I added the presentation from Khalid on the recent earthquake and move the presentation from Ahmed to the end. So some of the people will be speaking here. I will move the slides forward unless you want to come and make the presentation here, and you can speak directly from the mic where you are, okay? The post-event or the post will be addressed by Yohei in the end of the meeting, okay? So very briefly before we start, you know that you have received information in memoriam of one of our past members, Professor Giorgio Macchi. He passed away on the 4th of August. I thank, of course, Arun Menon, a former Pavia alumni, and also Professor Perarocca for contributing to the text. Giorgio was, in my view, an amazing and humble person. I was involved, I was lucky to be involved with him when ISCARSAH started, so he was also drafting the original guidelines. He was a super humble person involving youngsters and really contributing for the knowledge around heritage structures. He organized 2 IAPSA gatherings in Italy specific for this topic, while the topic of heritage structures were not interesting to engineers at all. And so he was also pioneering. So I suggest we made a short, brief pause to remember Giorgio Macchi. Okay, so may he rest in peace. Well, formally, we have now the approval of last meeting minutes. They were distributed. I will not review them. I don't know if anybody has a comment here physically or online, and we can, of course, revise the minutes. For this year meetings, the minutes will be approved by email, and they will not be taken to approval to next year annual general meeting. Okay, so we start approving by email unless anybody opposes to this. So I don't know if there is any comment regarding the minutes from last year. Okay, thank you very much. So we go to point 3 on memberships, and this is, I'll be introducing this. I was coordinating the evaluation on the memberships until recently. And so I don't know if any of the new members is here. We have 5 new members for this year. We had 10 in 2022 and 13 in 2021. The numbers are going down a little bit. I mean, my understanding is not how many members we have that is important, is how many active members we have that is important. And so, as you are aware, we have a new board, and I've been appointed president of the board recently. But I think we will need to engage a little bit more the community of ISCARSAH, and we're doing our best in this respect. It's okay. Our expert members is only Andrew Salter from the United Kingdom. We have 3 new associate members, Rafael Ramirez Odave from Portugal and Mexico, Leonardo E. from Nigeria, and Mariam Raimli from Azerbaijan. And we have 1 new ICOMOS member. This one I know is here, is a former SAC student. So we can say briefly, very briefly, who he is, please. I think the other people are not in the room. I'll give the mic to Andres.
Well, I didn't expect that, but well, let me say my name is Andres Arce from Costa Rica, and I am extremely excited and honored to be here with all of you. I hope we will get to know each other, build a lot of connections to make the future better for the field of conservation. Thank you.
So welcome, Andres. Okay, so this is the current standing of our members. We have 174 members. As you can see, the percentage of honorary is low, as it should, is 7 members. Most of our members are expert members, as they should. So an associate member is a temporary position. After 9 years as associate, you must be moved out before ideally you should be moved to an expert member, okay? And so we will be revising this carefully during the next couple of years to be sure that all associated members either move to expert, or if they have reached their limit, they should not be in the committee anymore. There's a few non-ICOMOS. As you are well aware, ICOMOS is not favorable of having non-ICOMOS members. And so we'll also revise and ask people, at least on the medium term, they should become ICOMOS members if they think they would like to belong to the ISCARSAH. If there is obviously a problem with the local ICOMOS committee, we'll have to understand what the problem is. And then we have only 1 corporate member. This is the list of the ISCARSAH members. Let's say the largest participation from different countries, so countries which have 4 or more people. And you can see that is a reasonably well distributed distribution of members. The US and Italy are very strong, but there are many other members with multiple people present in the committee. I give the word now to Tom. So Tom, go ahead with the review of the presentation.
Yeah, just a few comments on my side. And first, sorry everyone, we're having some slide issues, so mind those virtually attending, they are lagging slightly, but I'm trying to keep the movie along and aligned. So as Paulo mentioned, there is a limit to how long people should be associate members, because we want to help people move up into being expert members. And assume when they start as associates, they are on that path. I'll be working more this 3-year term to catch up on that, as I fell behind last year. So I'll be reaching out to many of you to kind of update those statuses, as well as reviewing who is active. So you should be hearing from me in the coming months. I'm also going to be working on ways to improve the reporting and getting out information on the larger listservs. As I've mentioned in emails, there are 2 separate listservs we're running right now. This is something we're trying. There can be a lot of conversation on some, which we think is very positive. And so there's the gaggle at email listserv, ISCARSAH at gaggle.email. People can talk as much as they want. There's a setting on there for members just to get a daily update. And we know some of our members would prefer to sort that so that it may not be in their main inbox, and that gives that opportunity. We also have a main listserv, the ISCARSAH at list.ecomos.org, where we'll be sending out announcements. And so that won't be for kind of chatting, that will be sorry, not chatting, but that won't be for discussion, but will be for our main announcements. So please be aware of that. One final note I'd like to add here for this meeting. I had attempted to send a message to Radu, although I've not really got to him. I believe he's in person there in Kyoto. I was going to ask if he could put together the sheet to collect the names and nationalities or the countries they're based from for those in person. And likewise, for everyone that is attending this virtually, if you can please use the chat function to enter your name and the country you're from, and I will be using that when I update who is in attendance. I think that covers my update, unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Tom. Do we have any question, remark on this members issue? Point number 3 of the agenda. Okay. Thank you. Tom, is Goran on or not? Is Goran online?
I'm here. Yes,
Oh,
I'm here.
Very good. We're super excited to hear you, Goran. We heard about your difficulties in coming. So please go ahead. I will move the slides forward.
All right. Then you will. Okay. If you. So I will explain the events, activities we made during 2022 in chronological order. The first was ICOMOS had asked scientific committees to form a working group on guidelines on protecting our cultural heritage from fires. We made a call to all ISCARSAH members, and the ones who wanted to join the group, the names are here. The first draft was sent. We reviewed it and made comments and returned our comments to the group. Now the work still continues. Okay. Another event is on 5th of April. We had a Latin America webinar on intervenciones en las estructuras del patrimonio arquitectónico. This was organized by Marcela Hurtada. I'm sure some of you had already attended this webinar. Attendance was really very nice, and we received many applications from Latin America, but unfortunately it wasn't so successful because we are using English in communication. So although there were many applications, they were not terminated. They didn't terminate their application. Okay. We have ICOMOS asked some missions from our scientific committee, and in 2022 2022, 2 of the missions were terminated by our colleagues. Arkadiusz Christian, I hope I pronounce it correctly, was on the Ruthenian Rail on Switzerland. It's completed. And Kari Avelan worked on Hotel Palace Ohrid in North Macedonia. It's also completed. Such missions are received through expert database. That's why we always insist that giving our information on expert database is useful to meet such requests from ICOMOS. Okay. We had our annual meeting in Seoul on 29th of August. It was a hybrid meeting. I'm sure some of you already joined that. After the meeting, we had an excursion to Gyeongbokgung Pavilion of Gyeongbokgung Palace. That's the banquet hall of the palace. And after this excursion, we had an ISCARSAH dinner. You will have an ISCARSAH dinner this evening also. Yes. Then 2 days, 30 and 31st of August, we had scientific seminar in Seoul. The ones who attended or even virtually presented our presentations. It was very interesting. And there were many people joining this seminar, especially from Korea. Yes. Yes. In the first 2 days of September, we had an international expert workshop. We visited modern heritage sites in Daejeon, Mokpo, Iksan, Gunsan, and Paju. The places were very interested. The places we stayed was also very interesting. It was a fruitful workshop, yes. And the scientific seminar report is published. We thank Dr. In-Suk Cho for arranging all events in Korea, especially getting in relation with the local institutions. The host was Cultural Heritage Administration of Korea. Organizers were ICOMOS Korea, ICOMOS ISCARSAH, National Research Institute of Cultural Heritage Korea, and Korea Foundation for the Traditional Architecture and Technology. Yes. The other initiatives are in November 2022, Steve Kelly had started a collaboration with PETCH, that's Association for Preservation Technology in USA. We had planned a webinar, but we couldn't achieve it. I hope he will continue in this mission. Another event is preparation of ISCARSAH guidelines. I'm sure Professor Pereroka will also explain this. It's almost terminated. We hope to present it to ICOMOS in the next ICOMOS General Assembly. Then members of ISCARSAH made desk reviews for UNESCO ICOMOS 2022 World Heritage nominations. So we ask our members to let us know who made the reviews and which parts they reviewed. Only few members could answer, but the way we understand how many people reviewed is that each review is 50 euros. So at the end of the review, ICOMOS tells that you have such and such euro in ICOMOS. There we understand how many people made the reviews. Okay, that's all for 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Goran. I'll move now to Radu. In any case, I would like to let you know that Goran was planning to be here, but she had a last-minute difficulty, so we're missing her. Also, please note that there is a sheet going around, so please add your name so that we know who was present here. Radu, please.
Thank you. So about the website, social media. So right now the ISCARSAH website, it's working? Oh, nice. Right now the ISCARSAH website, it's on WordPress platform. You can, it's responsive to different devices, desktop, you can see it on tablets and phones and everything else. So this website from the start that was made in 2014 has 40,000 viewers until now, and some shares on the social media. On social media, I expect to have just 3 of them: Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. On Facebook, Mr. Yohei, I think, is the guy who shares our posts. So we'll try to increase it. In LinkedIn, Mr. Stavov is here with us. So right now, I think social media have to increase the post, and we'll discuss it after the meeting, and we have another meeting on the 3rd of October about social media. Next slide, please. So this is the traffic analysis. You can see for 2021, 2022 have increased traffic because of pandemic with webinars. So after webinars, everybody access the site. You can see 2021, we start the webinar, we have a lot of, well, we have 1,020 viewers just in 1 month. So the analyze for 2023, you can, Italy is the winner. Last year, I think, was the USA and Korea, but right now, the most viewers for 2023 come from Italy. And after that, I think USA and France. Okay, the improvement. What we want to I think we discussed it in the new bureau to change something about the site, and conclusion is to create a protected area of a site where just the member can access it. In this area, we'll put some information, and I think the database that we have to use it. I think this year we'll start working on this, and at the beginning of the next year we have an area where every member can access some protected information that we'll put there on the database. So on the website we added information. We'll added the ISCARSAH principle in Georgian is the last that added language of a principle. So if anybody has it in different language, please send us to increase the language that the principal can put it on the website. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Merdad, I think you are there, no?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm going to give you a brief report about ISCARSAH national committees. Next. I would report it in 3 sections. First, I give a short introduction to the guidelines. Then I will introduce active national committees, and then I go to emerging national committees. Next, please. There is a guideline for establishing national committees of ISCARSAH, which is dated June 2020. Next, please. In order to get the full information, you could go to the ISCARSAH website, but the most important issue is 1, national committees should develop a short mission statement which is compatible with the mission of the ISCARSAH. 2, once the mission statement is approved by ISCARSAH, the national committee can be established. 3, national committees should establish the requirements themselves for membership in their respective committee. And 4, national committees must prepare an annual report to submit to ISCARSAH by 15th of February of each year. Next, please. Now we go to active national committees in the world. Next, please. At the moment, we have 4 countries. First, Turkey, which was established in 2017. Next, Italy, 2012. Next, UK in 2017, and India, whose president at the moment is Kushi Shah. Next slide, please. Different countries have had different activities in 2022 and 23. The most important was they presented different conferences, workshops, and webinars. 2, they increased the contacts with their own governments. 3, they participated in some restoration projects. 4, they did knowledge sharing. 5, they did social events. And 6, they increased the number of members. Next slide, please. Now we have emerging countries and emerging national committees. Next slide, please. One country is Japan, who their responsible person is Yohei Endo. And the next country is Iran. Responsible person is Mehrdad Hijazi. Next slide, please. We have so many countries with 4 or more members, such as United States or Greece or Romania, for example. We suggest them start establishing their national committees. Next slide, please. If you need any assistance, you can contact me through my email, or you can contact with Tom through the email. Thank you very much for your time, and if there is any question, please let me know.
Okay, thank you, Mehrdad and Radu. I don't know if anybody would like to ask anything for the speakers, well, with respect to last year's activity.
Yeah, this is Yohei Endo. Well, we today, we are having some observers from Japan. ISCARSAH, National Executive. Could you please raise your hand? Yes, here we are. Yes, here we are. And now, finally, we have, well, one is missing, but we have 5 people. So I think we are ready to start National Committee of Japan. Yay.
I would like to ask, it was a question of non-ICOMOS members and if it's a problem with a national committee. So I am an ICOMOS member since 2009, but last year I paid and did not get my card. And this year I even did not pay because it made no sense. So I don't know what we can do with a Romanian committee and if there is a problem. Thank you.
Okay, we have several Romanian colleagues here, and I think it's really, I mean, the understanding of the Bureau is that this is a bottom-up approach. So we don't want to force people to develop initiatives for which they don't feel like they would like to pursue them. And so this will be always a bottom-up. But my suggestion is that you discuss with the other Romanian colleagues, and I'm sure you will converge to a positive outcome. Okay, if there are no more issues, we go to item 5. So as you know, there's a new bureau since very recently. Some of the colleagues are not present. And of course, well, we think it would be nice to reflect and to think what other colleagues would like to do and contribute. The first thing we decided as a bureau was to appoint a new honorary member, and this is our past president. The reasons for this are evident in the screen. They have been also informed in the bulletin. Of course, I think we should give Gorun a big hand, because she was the, vice president for a long time, president for 9 years, and developed multiple activities, as we saw also from last year now. So congratulations, Gorun.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really honored for this. I wonder where you found this picture of me. Yes, thank you.
Well, we found it in the internet. We're sorry, but we can only complain about the internet. I think in the bulletin is the picture you sent, but it was too late.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so what we are discussing since the summer, we are meeting. The bureau is now meeting once a month, and we'll keep this regular meetings for the time to come. We would like to develop more engaging initiatives that more people can join in. Okay. Basically, there are two concerns. Some concern is about the new members that people arrive to the bureau, how they are integrated. Another concern is emerging professionals, in the sense that any emerging professional today will be the future of this community. And so we'd like to try to somehow mentor a little bit the younger people joining the committee. The second thing that we would like is to try to develop even a stronger image of ISCARSAH outside the committee, and also the outreach of what we do. Okay, this is again not, we don't feel this is a mission of the bureau. We think it's a mission of the committee. This means all of us, the people here in the room, which is plenty, and the people in virtually. Okay, some aspects that we are considering, and again, when I mean considering, means that it's work in progress. We'd like to have a consolidated triennial action plan that we have been discussing, that will then be disseminated, and we'll be glad to receive feedback from the committee members. We'd like to analyze the possibility of revising the bylaws, comparing with other international scientific committees. Think about the size of the bureau, how big it needs to be efficient. Okay. Think about, for example, corresponding members. That is still a category which maybe doesn't make a lot of sense today with all this easy of virtual communication. Okay. So there's a few things, of course, it's not a revolution, but there's a few things that we probably would like to revise. And again, if we come to the conclusion that this deserves a revision, it will be coming to this annual general meeting for discussion and potential approval. Okay. Something that we're also starting is an attempt of lead an European network. Of course, I know that this is not a European committee, but a European network can also fund a few non-European members. And of course, if you have a large part of the globe working together with the same goal, it will also be beneficial for the committee. Okay. And so we're planning to submit this in the next couple of months for potential funding. Well, when you submit a proposal, you always think that you have chances to get it funded. That is for sure, but the chances are very low, and we also need to keep this in our mind. But it could be something helpful to boost the activity of the committee. Again, we would be very happy to inspire ISCARSAH national committees that we saw. We get an yearly report. One of the committees is less active. So we're going to have a meeting with this national committee, I believe in October. The date is already fixed. Some of the other national committees seem to be more active. We really understand that the mission of the Bureau is to keep the focus on the international science scientific committee, not in the national. But we think that, you know, leading by example can be important. And so we hope next year to have the national committees themselves making presentations, if not all of them, at least some of the most active, because we need the national committees, you know, to provide the ground to maybe other committees with several members from the same country, you know, try to get inspired and lead our mission, which is, you know, protecting heritage structures on a national basis that we may have problems to do ourselves across the globe. Some other aspects which are under consideration, Tom already said something about it. We probably need to do better on recording the membership activity, on updating the membership type, on having our own annual report, maybe also on the annual general meeting. This needs to be announced earlier. I think in the past we had technical visits to important monuments, you know, under intervention. We can probably do that also. And so, I mean, this is a slow process, but we would like to revise some of the organizational aspects. The communication with the members also, you know that we have a great newsletter. I'm not saying that because Maya is a friend. I'm saying that because the quality of the newsletter is, in my view, much above the average when I compare to other initiatives. Of course, you know that our newsletter has an ISBN number. There is a lot of competition from other publications, okay? Maya is now planning a new issue from September and another one from December, which will more or less exhaust what we have in our pipeline for production. And so we will issue a new call for papers once these two bulletins are published, hoping that we can easily attract, you know, high quality, longer, medium-sized articles to keep the newsletter active. Okay, the last issue is quite old because it's 5 years ago, and of course we have two chances as a committee. This will not be the bureau decision, will not be Maya's decision. It will be our decision. We want to keep it or we don't want to keep it. If we want to keep it, we have to do something about it. Okay, we'll have time to discuss this in the end, so I'll let time, of course, for everybody to intervene. Meanwhile, we started something we call a bulletin that we really want to issue twice a year. There was in the beginning some desire that even do it a little bit more. But I think we have to be careful in our ambition. But the first issue is out. Of course, some things could be better, some things could be, you know, stronger, but it is a way to communicate with our members. This is a way of engaging, and we would like to have, for sure, at least every semester, a short bulletin to communicate activity, also from the work groups, etc. The website and social media, the activity was shown by Radu. It is important, again, to communicate externally, to communicate to our members. The activity is a bit on the low side and it's a bit reducing. And so we're now trying to see if we can boost it, okay? But ideally something has to be done. The webinars, they have been very successful in the past. We are now trying to commit to organize twice a year. The two next ones are more or less defined. It's an easy way to communicate. They don't have to be very long. I mean, an whole afternoon. They can be 1 hour, they can be 1.5 hours. But I think there's many exciting topics and many things that, again, we can do to involve the community, to bring people external to ISCARSAH to what we do. The same thing from emerging professionals. I think we'll hear later today in the meeting the revision of the guidelines. There was a very large work done in the last 2 months. The committee have been super active. The guidelines are ready. They will be distributed next week. And then you'll have time to review, to comment, Once the committee takes this into consideration, they will be coming here for formal approval, and then there will be also a new webinar on the guidelines to communicate the changes and the document. Okay. Something that we thought of starting, and we really appreciate some colleagues that also contacted the Bureau with ideas, with initiatives. We are open to initiatives. We plan to send you very fast a form to tell you, would you like to be a member of any of these work groups? This means I would like to work freely on my extra time to contribute to these work groups. Of course, you'll not join the 4 of them. That would be too much, but you can join 1 or 2 maybe. We would like, you'll see from the timeline that these work groups have a starting date and an end date. The ideal end date is the end of the Bureau term, because then anybody else can join the Bureau or change the Bureau. And so some of these were proposed by our colleagues. There's always one member of the Bureau making the liaison and assisting, but you'll hear from these committees today, one on climate change adaptation. That's the buzzword of today, no longer climate change. I think almost nobody is discussing this anymore. Examples of interventions, learning by doing, discussing what has been done. Good, well, we always learn from discussion. A Masonry World Catalog, and a very important addition to all of us is how to address safety, how to address standards. So these, I think, are very exciting activities, and we hope these work groups can be important in, let's say, engaging our community. And this is the last of my planned activities. Of course, we're very happy to respond on these planned activities. We're very happy if our members tell us, you should also do this, you should also do that. Or if you tell us, I would like to contribute to this, I would like to lead this myself. Okay, so this point now is open for discussion on planned activities. Thank you. Okay, I see everybody's super excited with the activities, or otherwise, well, thinking very negatively of the new appointed bureau, one of the two. I move the word now to Pere.
Okay, thank you, Paulo. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much for this opportunity to update everybody on the ISCARSAH guidelines and the work done by the subcommittee. I am happy to say that we have been, I think, very active. I am really very grateful and take advantage of this opportunity to express my gratitude to all the members of the subcommittee, because all of them have contributed with very valuable insight and ideas. I can say now that we have a final draft. The initial document has been carefully discussed and, in my view, largely improved. A final version agreed by the subcommittee is now available and will be soon sent to all ISCARSAH members. The final version by the subcommittee includes significant improvements oriented to clarify important concepts, better detail the proposed methodologies, and ascertain a more consistent alignment with the ISCARSAH principles. Next, please. I cannot go into detail, of course, but I would like to just mention the main improvements, some of the improvements carried out. The phases of the study have been given new names to better, as I was saying, align the document with the ISCARSAH principles. We now identify 4 phases corresponding to anamnesis, diagnosis and assessment of structural performance, therapy, and control. Therefore, a new section which did not exist before on control, specifically on control, has been included, which deals with quality control, long-term monitoring and maintenance. A new section has been added on structural analysis. However, structural analysis is further discussed in specific sections concerning the different phases of the study. Section 1.5 on the phases of the study includes now a detailed discussion on the structural conservation process, leading to all the topics of the process, the studies, the structural performance investigation, the intervention and control. With this new discussion on the phase of the study, we are more in detail explaining how the different phases relate to each other, and we are actually recognizing the very complex and iterative process involved in the study. Next, please. Again, I cannot go into detail, but I can say that many sections have been deeply revised and reconsidered. The entire text has been carefully revised, and many paragraphs have been rewritten, searching for larger accuracy and clarity. And also, 2 annexes have been fully developed and included in the document. First, an annex with a glossary, and second, an annex with a checklist. The procedure we propose for discussion within and even beyond the committee is as follows. After our meeting today, we will send the document to all ISCARSAH members. The members of ISCARSAH are invited to comment, provide suggestions until November 15. Then the subcommittee will consider the comments, will consider the suggestions, and improve the document so that a final version will be approved within the committee by January. Once a final version be improved, we will be in the condition to disseminating the document beyond ISCARSAH, and specifically, we propose to organize a webinar for public presentation, including possibly a roundtable by March, which would be open to all for dissemination. This is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pere. Tim, are you there or not?
Yes, hi, Paulo, and everyone else there. When it comes to upcoming webinars, so in 2023, we did not have a webinar yet because, as Gorun already said, we tried working something out with the PETC committee in the US, but that fell through. So our next upcoming webinar will be on the 2023 Turkey-Syria earthquake, hopefully coming up in fall, and we will be working closely with our Turkish colleagues to get this together. Our focus would be on perspectives from ISCARSAH members who were involved in the aftermath of the earthquake. And those are some colleagues from Turkey, but also some international colleagues. And then as we're moving to 2 webinars a year, our next one would be, as Pere already alluded to, hopefully in spring 2024 on the new ISCARSAH guidelines. We would always welcome ideas or suggestions for webinars, so you can always reach out to me about that. When the webinars come up, we will also invite proposals for presentations. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Malcolm, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I'm on my way on traffic, so it's better to not open the camera. But yes, I'm listening to you and I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Would you like to say anything about the bulletin?
Actually, I first would like to thank you for being engaged with the bulletin. And as you already introduced the bulletin, we have a plan to make it twice a year. So as you're sharing the screen, people can see that we have short letters. This is the title that we gave from the members. So we will be asking to all the members to be participating actively by sending their letters, which is a short text about the words, the experiences, or whatever we do in our local or international areas. So that's all. Thank you very much. And hello, everyone from Turkey right now.
Okay, thank you, Melton. Okay, I think I will skip this as Philippe will give a longer presentation in the presentation part. Okay, Catalan masonry issues. I think Kai is here. So Kai, can you give the presentation on ISCARSAH examples?
Yes. Shall I share screen?
Oh,
Or
it's already online.
It's already in. Okay. So greetings from Kathmandu. I just got back
Sometimes the
from
communication is a little bit slow because it's going to Canada and back.
So the proposed initiative, I'd like to, of course, thank Paolo for elaborating the proposal, and we put something together. So next. So ISCARSAH members are working all over the world. Next. ISCARSAH members have a wealth of knowledge and experience. Next. How can ISCARSAH members share their experience? So basically, this is where I started. I think we have lots of stories to tell. The question is, how do we actually share these experiences and stories? Next. So each contribution will focus on a particular project. The ISCARSAH member will have been closely involved in the project. So it's so we aren't going to be talking about sort of theoretical projects, but more projects that we have been involved in ourselves. And critical analysis of the project will be provided. So it's not just descriptive in the sense of what we did, but also raising some questions, good and the bad, and the problems we had and how we solved it and how things worked out. So really explaining what the project was all about. Next. So each contribution will be discussed. The outcome will be presented in the form of lessons learned, and then differences in opinions can also be documented. So basically, we don't want to probably say, just have one final agreed what is correct and not correct, but there will probably be differences in opinions in many of these cases, and I think we need to also accept differences. Next. That is just an image of a traditional carpenter working on one of our projects in Kathmandu after the earthquake. Next. The examples and the lessons learned. So I just wanted to put down some of the possible contents of these examples. Next. The examples of interventions, pros and cons of interventions, results of past interventions. The discussion, for example, on anastomosis use. I've been working in Cambodia in Angkor, and I think this is sort of one of those interesting discussions that arises in connection with how do we see this, and then discussions on safety standards for historical structures. How is this assessed, including building codes, which sometimes can be a problem. Probably this we can collaborate with the other initiative as well. And then discussions on understanding traditional technology, materials, and the involvement of traditional craftspeople. So probably the two extreme ends would be, really getting into discussing craftspeople, which probably we don't want to get too involved only in that, but then also with the codes. I think that is, again, something that is an issue for all of us, but the question is, what experiences have we had in connection with this? Next. The lessons learned will be compiled based on themes. This is again a proposal, such as technology, materials, know-how, procedures, funding, research, community change, etc. So that we actually have these discussions, and the outcomes or the lessons learned would be sort of compiled and discussed within these themes. Next. So tentative timeline next. End of October, set up committee of ISCARSAH members, maximum 12. Next. End of December 2023, collection of the case studies with ISCARSAH members, tentative maximum of 25 to be selected. Next. Then end of July 2024, completion of a series of online meetings to discuss the examples. Next. End of December 2024, complete the report on the examples, possible external publication, review article. Next. And then before July 2025, webinar for public discussion and final update of report to be uploaded in the ISCARSAH website. So this is our overall proposal, which of course it would be good to get feedback on it. But the whole idea is really to share our experiences and discuss amongst ourselves and come up with some kind of a sort of a compilation. It doesn't have to be conclusions, but compilation of these of our experiences. So thank you.
Thank you, Kai. So we move to the next one. Becca, I don't know if you're here.
I'm here. Hi, thank you for your time, Paolo, and thanks for the idea about this additional working group. So we're going to be, as Paolo said, the words have kind of shifted around. It's not just climate change, it's climate change adaptation now. And so this is something that Tim, who's already spoken today and who we've worked together before, we're very interested in exploring the intersection between climate change and the analysis and the restoration of architectural heritage. We're working on a similarly proposed timeline to the other working group. We're not as far ahead in terms of what specifics that we're going to be working on for our topics. That's something that we're hoping to discuss at the first meeting with those who are interested, is kind of learning a little bit more about what are some of the directions that people are interested in pursuing for this topic. But we're very excited and we're very much looking forward to hearing from you about your interest in the committee. Thanks, Paolo.
Thank you. So the last working group is will be led by Mustafa and Merdat. So if you want, you can sit. Someone's complaining that they cannot see this. So I can do. This is okay. Okay, sorry. This initiative or proposal is about the safety issues which are within building codes and versus in the principles of the ISCARSAH committee and similar principles related to the cultural heritage buildings. In the ISCARSAH principles, as well as in the forthcoming guidelines, it is said in item 2.8 that the application of the same safety levels as in the design of new buildings requires sometimes excessive, if not impossible, measures. And it is also said that appropriate considerations may justify different approaches to the safety in these cases. So this is a kind of tricky thing because engineers dealing with historical buildings, especially in seismic areas, often face a challenge to justify different approaches to safety
with respect to legally binding codes. There are certain relaxing codes like ISO and those addressed to existing structures and even to specifically to historical structures, but there are only a few of them. However, the situation differs very much from country to country. The proposed initiative is to set up a work group within the committee, which would elaborate the topic of building codes and ISCARSAH principles, ultimately aiming to influence their harmonization. This topic applies mainly to the relation between the heritage value and the safety of the historical buildings. If the initiative is accepted by the committee and understood or recognized the need for this elaboration, then by the end of October, an working group should be established within the committee, and this working group should refine the plan and make a questionnaire for or a survey for the online survey, which would be addressed to the ISCARSAH community and possibly wider, but because maybe you all saw the recent emails which were discussing these questions with a few members and also within some e-commerce colleagues from Australia. By the end of April next year, we should collect the information from the ISCARSAH members, preferably from, of course, from different countries. And this information should address local codes, recommendations, practice, and ongoing activities, and information on local institutions and procedures that are influencing this topic. End of July 2024 to process and analyze the collected information. End of December next year to complete a report and a possible external publication. End of July 2025, webinar for public discussion and upload in the ISCARSAH website. This is a new. I'd like to thank you very much for this, for your attention, and hope to raise an interest for this initiative.
Okay, so thank you, Mustafa. So, I mean, this is more or less a review of some of the initiatives that will be started now. I don't know if anybody would like to comment. Of course, the idea of having 4 working groups, I think if we are successful, we'll be talking about, 40 or 50 members working together, which I think it will be very positive for the committee. Certainly that, maybe not everything will be successful, but if we start something, it is possible that some more time than the expected is needed, and that's certainly not a problem. The deadlines are not extremely strict, but I think it could be positive that we manage these working groups, and the outcomes will be certainly relevant for the community also outside ISCARSAH. That's why I would like to disseminate it also externally. In any case, I open, of course, the floor for discussion. I don't know if anybody would like to contribute on what was said on the different initiatives. I see everybody is very afraid, and this, hybrid meetings don't help a lot because you don't see people somewhere in the world, but at least Mustafa is going to say something, which is nice.
And while the microphone's being passed, I'll also mention we have many people in chat have spoken up saying that they're interested in various groups, and I'll send that around.
It's on. No, I just, as far as I understood, the Bureau will prepare an online survey for all these initiatives to see about the interest. Is that true? In the forthcoming week, in the next few weeks. So we are planning to, since if this work group is established for this initiative on the codes, then end of October we should not only form the work group, but we should establish an online survey for with specific questions on the building codes. So it's a very tight timeline for this activity. But anyway, this is not maybe important for this meeting. Okay, my only question was for this.
Yeah, I mean, once the groups are set up, of course, additional people can join in. This is not a closed group of friends forever. And then it would be up to, let's say, the conveners to follow up and to decide how they want to guide the work. So the Bureau will send a proposal of a form to all the groups to see if people approve. And once this is approved by the leaders, then we'll send it to everybody, and everybody can reply and join the working groups. Okay. Thank you. I mean, regarding new business, in any case, I just added a few comments. I mean, we'd like to announce the annual general meetings very early so that people can make their plans, put that in their agenda. So we are hoping to announce the new annual general meeting in the next 2 months or so. That possibly will be around this period, you know, fall or late summer, in a place to be yet decided. In any case, we'd like to try to add a technical visit on something that is going on, okay? And would like also to suggest, of course, if there is a conference next to it, sometimes it's easier for people to justify expenses, that the 2025 meeting will be in the next SAC location. I don't know if it is a secret that I'm announcing it now, but if you got your registration back, you will know it anyway. So it doesn't matter so much if I announce it now or I mean, I will not formally announce it. The conference organizers will formally announce it. You know? In any case, I mean, we expect that the 2026 will be most likely in the ICOMOS General Assembly, because we should try to meet and promote the General Assembly also of ICOMOS. Something that I would like to get feedback, and as you've been so silent today, I hope you could say something about it. Notre Dame is now in a very good phase, and to my understanding, possible to visit, because for a long time was very difficult or impossible to visit. And so, I mean, I would be happy to organize a technical tour if, of course, there's 10, 15 people interested. If there's 100, I don't think they will accept us. If it is 10, 20, I think that should not be an issue. But this, I would like to hear a little bit about, if people would be interested to be organized in October, November. Of course, this means costs because you'll have to fund your trip and lodging, but I would like to hear about. Maybe something that we could also organize. Of course, many people have been to Turkey, for example, sponsored by different organizations in the aftermath of the disaster. So we had several members from ISCARSAH there. Maybe we could organize something to Morocco also. I mean, to my understanding, there's a lot that can be learned, particularly if you are an emerging professional, if you're starting. In my view, what I learned most from earthquake response was by seeing it on the site. You learn a lot. The structures will always, I mean, the earthquake will find the weak points, and you learn a lot by observation, much more than by any looking at the book or any simulation or advanced computation you make. So on these 2 points, I would like to get, I mean, this is not an official survey, it's just some feedback. Anybody would think that a visit to Notre Dame would make sense? I mean, you can raise your hand. You don't have to say yes, I mean, or to send me an email, but anybody would be interested, for example, from the room?
So you mean now in 2023?
Yeah, for sure. Because the Notre Dame will be opening in December 2024 by order of the President of France. And so I don't think we can find again. And now it's in very good time to visit, to my understanding. One of my friends was just there recently, no?
I might have time and funds in October, November, but have to check with the economic director.
No problem. Thank you. But I've seen a lot of interest in the room, so I will try to organize it. I don't need more feedback from people online. Of course,
we have interest online as well.
Sorry, Tom, I could not hear.
We've got 3-4 people interested online as well.
Okay, excellent. So I'll try to organize it. I'll come back to you if it's possible. Regarding Morocco, I will see the presentation of Khalid, and I will speak also with him. And of course, anybody can speak, and we could see if something could be organized. Of course, once the search and rescue teams and the situation is stabilized, not at this moment for sure. Okay, thank you very much. This is what I had in the new business. For the presentations, I would invite, if you are here, to come here, because otherwise we have to change the camera and it's a disaster. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Yoshinori Iwasaki. I have been working on the Angkor, Cambodia. Today's presentation is conservation of Mentor Bayon Temple, Angkor Wat. My theme is characteristics of authenticity and integrity of retaining wall of stone masonry structure in Angkor, Cambodia. As all the members of ISCARSAH understand, ISCARSAH worked with ISO from 2005 for 5 years and published ISO 13288 in 2010, including the Annex I heritage structures. In this annex, chapter 1.5.3 says authenticity foundations, just like the Pisa Tower. It has been ignored. No one just think about the what's kind of the foundation authenticity, but the 1.53 just refers authenticity foundation. It says, from the point of view of conservation, foundation is not different from the rest of the structures and should be assessed and rehabilitated, taking into consideration their heritage value. This involves the requirement to identify their authenticity and characteristic defining elements. By the way, Angkor Charter was published in 2012. It recognized brick, sandstone, laterite blocks and construction materials, but it does not include soil. Soil is ignored in Angkor chapter. There's one temple named the Bapuon Temple. It failed during heavy rain in 1943. The slope is very steep, and inside of this slope is soil. 46 degrees or even 6 degrees. It is not a common soil zone. It keeps those slopes in the last several hundred years. This is the just a section figure. This Baphuon temple is made of steep high mound of compacted fill of 30 meters in height with 45 to 60 degrees of very sharp angles. The steep and high soil mound is the character defining elements of Baphuon temple. FAO, French, they try to reconstruct the area of this steep slope, but failed when the height becomes over 5 meters, 3 times by the original method. Original method is just putting the soil compacted and putting it high. So the FAO had introduced reinforced concrete retaining walls in 1960s. In 2009, Japanese government team for safeguarding Angkor performed the boring study for foundation mound and found a very interesting characters. If the sample is put into the water, the sample just suck the water up and it's collapse within 10 minutes. The character defining element is the its grain size distribution. It's very unique. The two types of the field. This is a sandy field. And the grain size, this is 0.06. In general area, this is silt and clay, and this is sand. The silt and clay just 10 to 20%. This soil is a very stiff in dry condition, but it collapses when the soil becomes under the water. At this time moment, 2 methods to conserve stone retaining wall in Angkor. One is the introduced by FAO French in 1960 until present. Another one is the Japanese safeguarding Angkor team. We have introduced 1995. The material of the soil is mixed with the slaked lime, and this keeps the strength even though under the water. So 2 types of the conservation method available today, French type and Japanese type. Conclusion, soil is not recognized as the construction material in Angkor by UNESCO, but soil is the main construction material. In 2009, JSA established the character defining elements of the soil foundation mound based upon the grain size distribution, which result in very large strength in dry condition, but weakened under water condition. at this time moment, two types of countermeasures for masonry retaining wall at present available. Reinforced concrete retaining wall by FAO French and masonry retaining wall with backfill soil mixed with select design by Japanese safeguarding Encore team. So there are two different types of countermeasures are being compared and evaluated for long-term effect. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you for keeping the time, Yoshi. I don't know, maybe we could have one question. Of course, the idea is to continue discussion in the reception. But if there is any question anybody would like to make now?
Then it should be some kind of hydraulic lime mixed with sand, mixed with soil.
Hydraulic?
Hydraulic lime. Is it hydraulic or some other lime, hydrated?
Oh,
The lime that was mixed with soil.
you mean the line?
The lime. What kind of lime?
Oh, just if you put water in with lime, it's slate lime.
Yeah. Okay. Air lime. Underwater. Yeah. 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 Okay. Sorry.
Thank you.
Ahmed, I don't know if you're there, but we're planning to have you in the end if it's possible, because you can then use your own screen. If you agree, we go to Filippo.
Thank you. Thank you, Paolo. So this is, hi everybody. So this is about the initiative that was not mentioned before because it's contained in this presentation. And it's, let's say, a vast work which has to be started, in my opinion. And it's the kind of catalog of measure types per different country, as we have an experience in Italy. And so I will start this presentation. And this presentation and the work will be done in cooperation with my colleague Maria Rosa Valluzzi from the University of Padova and Arun Menon from the University of Civil Engineering, the Department of Civil Engineering of Chennai. Basically, it happened to us that with our laboratory, we are visiting several countries and we are doing testing in, especially in masonry, in timber, and in other constitutive materials in several places. And we always notice that there is a vast amount of structures, and the vast majority of the heritage is made out of masonry buildings. And they are prone to the earthquake, as it's been observed in the recent destructive events mentioned in these slides. And for this reason, predictive models, valid predictive models, are strongly needed by the community, by the people living in these countries, but and from the professionals which are involved in the stabilization actions. We in this community and the people involved in masonry, they are aware of or they are inserted into the committees which are issuing standards like the Eurocodes, the ISO, the RILEM, ICOMOS, and so on. And also they participated to specific projects like On-Site for Masonry, NICR, Perpetuate, and so on. But it happened to us when we apply these methodologies, for example, testing of materials, that a systematic methodology for the recognition of basic aspects of masonry, like the difference between units, mortar, their characteristics, and so on, is still missing in many countries. So wherever we do testing, for example, we are aware of the several, as you are aware of the several testing methods and technical standards that are beyond this methodologies. But many places worldwide, they don't have this framework because I think that mostly is due to the fact that in several places and in several countries, Masonry is not taught at the university as it should, being the heritage mainly composed by it. And so it's mostly when they have to deal with Masonry, professionals, engineers, architects, they treat Masonry, existing Masonry, as a new material. So they try to force Masonry into reinforced concrete concepts sometimes. So we intervene in places where we see concrete frames within Masonry structure. They consider Masonry like a non-structural material, but a material which is calculable with a very high difficulty for them because they don't have education in this sense. So this poor knowledge lead sometimes to over-intervention or to totally wrong intervention in the framework of the ISCARSAH principles. Going to our experience, our national experience, 15 years ago in Italy was issued the technical standards for constructions, which are in line with the Eurocodes. And the specificity of our standards is that there is a specific table contained in the standards proposing specific values for the different Masonry typologies that we have in Italy. Basically, they're not all of them, but they were condensed into macro categories. But this comes from decades of research activities, testing, and sharing of results of the entire community of Italy, of the whole universities that we have in Italy. And there is a whole chapter devoted to the existing structure, like Mustafa was let's say, showing for the naissance of a new work group in this sense. In this chapter, there is let's say, a process of knowledge for having information on the specific characteristic of Masonry by using, for example, MDTs and NDTs. And here we are with a table, and it's used not just in Italy, but it's mostly used also in several other countries, fitting the Masonry that we encounter in one of those classes. Let's say the originality of this table is that the fact that there was a cataloging, characterization of the different Masonries that we have in Italy. We have hundreds of typologies, but they were characterized, at least condensed into 8 categories, like the one that you see here, and which are the parameters that they come from the testing at the university, from the on-site testing, sharing the results of several laboratories. And we have compressive capacity, shear capacity, Young modulus, shear modulus, and the density of the different Masonry. So basically, we also have a second table with the improvement parameters in case of intervention done, for example, injection or jacketing or reinforced plaster. And also you have some improvement in terms of, for example, the definition of a strong mortar or aligning string courses, horizontal, which are beneficial for the Masonry. So given the fact that in several places, this approach is taken from the Italian experience, and sometimes in other places, Masonry is still treated as a new material and rely on the Eurocode 6 and basically trying to characterize the units and the mortar and then combine them in order to understand and to take a resistance out of that. I think that it's worth to proceed and to establish a network in the framework of international organization like this one, like the ISCARSAH and the RILEM, to develop a common experience, to share results, to set up a validated procedure, and issue guidelines as possible pre-normative documents. Obviously, it's not possible to have a classification of like this in a couple of years. This is not feasible. But what we wanted to start and to promote with this work group is to start an initiative which can start the beginning and promote some documents for having this kind of, not just the Italian one, but maybe this can be taken as a model, as a guideline for issuing something similar for having historical memories treated like they should. In this work, I propose the formation of this work group within the ISCARSAH and working with 4 different sub-work groups. The first is the classification of the masonry typologies existing in the different areas, in the different places. The second and the third are the testing on the testing side, which are testing in the laboratory and testing on site by using the procedures that, for example, are present in the Italian standards, but not only. And finally, the use of the advanced numerical modeling for the simulation of the test configuration. So just for validation of what emerged from the experimental activities. So masonry classification, laboratory testing, on-site testing, and numerical simulation. So all of the people here involved in the ISCARSAH, they can possibly enter one of these 4 groups for giving his specific contribution. Just finishing, basically, this has to be built. So I hope several people involved in masonry will adhere to this project, to this initiative. And like it was said, that there will be a form at the end for proposing for each to propose themselves. And so the idea is not having in these couple of years something which is closed, but at least to having some preparative documents in order to have a common background for understanding which are the parameters to select for making these national annexes to the national specific standards. That's it. This is just a very rough tentative timing. Thank you.
Thank you. So maybe something I would comment in addition to what Filippo said, maybe I'm wrong in any case, but something that was also discussed was the possibility of integrating, namely RILEM, the International Association of Testing and Materials. And this could be also, I think it's good if we work, as a committee with other organizations on a cooperation basis. So I don't know if anybody would like to ask something to Filippo or to comment. No? Thank you. So Insuk, please. No problem. We have a slight change of file.
If a new file has been updated, can you share the screen from that computer? I will not have the file to share separately.
Sorry, Tom, can you say it again?
That computer has not been sharing its screen. So can you try to share that screen, because I will not have the new file.
I need Japanese assistance.
I will stop sharing my screen on this side.
It's okay, Tom. Can you see it?
It is now sharing. That is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. This one. Can you hear me? Okay, yeah. Good afternoon. Actually, this is the issue of relocation, intervention, and restoration and adaptive reuse of wooden structure with a focus on a case study of Ajedang Hall in Paju, Republic of Korea. So this is actually for those who were not participated in the ISCARSAH Korea last year. But it doesn't go on. It's actually time control. I don't know. Do I have to do it or? I think I put it in every slide in the 20 seconds. Time control. See? In the case no. Yeah. Every slide has a 20 seconds each. No? No? in the case I can control it. Do I have to it or no?
I think
Okay. Yeah, here everything is in 20 seconds. Yeah. Just share the screen, then I'll do it. Okay. Yeah. Just share the screen, then start again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So how should I press?
Can you see it? It's okay, Tom.
Okay.
No, I've got no visual. I can play the slides here. I set the time. Oh no, here we go. We got it again.
Got it?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then this one. Next one. Oh. No. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I think you'd better sit here. Yeah. This is Ajedang Hall. Yeah. Yes. This is Ajedang. No. This one. Then what I should press here or? Okay. Press here. Okay. Yes, this is Ajedang. The meaning of Ajedang is the place or the building where I am in. Original architecture of Ajedang is not clear yet, but the written sentence on the ridge beam records that the Ajedang of Unhyonggung was renovated and relocated to the site and reconstructed. Oh, sorry about it. It was automatically now. No, now it's working, but please, starting the second one. Yeah, now it's working. The please starting at the second one. Yeah. Yes. And then look for the line. As I already mentioned, it is in the records. And now let's see if it works. That's okay. Yeah. This is the changes in lots in Unhyonggung area by the period. In the process of reducing the Unhyonggung area, the lot was divided and sold, and it was presumed that Ajedang was used for a wedding hall and other purposes. At some point, however, it was dismantled along with other buildings in that area. The building materials used for the reconstruction and restoration of Ajedang were from 3 buildings, main one, annex building, and 4 pillar gates on Hanok Home in Puamdo. It's okay, let's just leave it. They were purchased by the Cultural Heritage Administration in 2008 and stored at Korea National University of Cultural Heritage. Then moved to current Traditional Architecture Elements Conservation Center in June 2018. Since there is no original data from the Unhyonggung period, this reconstruction project referenced the appearance of the structure when it was used as Yeongjugak and after it moved to Puamdong. As you can see here, the parts of Ajedang had the same formalities as palaces and government buildings in terms of timber work and joinery techniques, and sophisticated trimming techniques were used. Therefore, tree species and dendrochronology were analyzed to reveal the age of the building and parts, and non-destructive testing and repair studies were conducted to accurately determine the extent of damage to parts. In order to reuse the architectural parts, it is necessary to diagnose the damage suffered by the parts and perform appropriate repair and reinforcement according to the degree of the damage. During Ajedang's reconstruction work, a survey for construction standard production unit data was conducted in parallel to measure the standards of the amount of material and labor used for the repair of cultural properties and the construction cost estimate. During the Ajedang reconstruction work, a survey, I already did it. When we had 2022 ISCARSAH workshop in Korea, and sorry about it. I confused a bit, so it's okay. Yes, it was finished already. Because I tried to reduce the time. This was a structural analysis and structural tests were carried out according to the reinforcing materials, and the above research results were applied to the reconstruction and restoration work. Yes. Okay. You no. During the Ajedang's reconstruction work, a survey for construction standard production unit data was conducted in parallel to measuring the standards of the amount of material and labor used for the repair of the cultural properties and construction. This is the adaptive reuse plan for Ajedang. So actually this building was, as some of them remembered, when we had a 2022 ISCARSAH workshop in Korea, we had a farewell party there. So this is the main process of reconstruction work from number 1 to number 22. So as you can see here, there's one by one. So, okay, it comes it automatically, yes. So some details and interiors. As you can see here, there are many new materials, new parts. Actually, remaining previous materials, not so many. So we have big debates whether it is sort of a restoration or reconstruction. This is not easy to define, but some are remembered, the buildings. In this hall, we had the kids' performance, and we have a dinner there. Yeah, remember? Yes. This is Ajedang from outside. Actually, I put purposely two words together, the reconstruction or restoration. So let us think about it together. So about the terminology, reconstruction or restoration, and also the techniques and materials. So traditional or inherited techniques or modern. And why vernacular wooden structure is important. Those things we have to think about it. And let me just run over the key points. Actually, a little bit confused, but we looked at two main focus areas. The first one is history of Ajedang, very short one. And the second one was overview of reconstruction restoration projects. And the last one was I suggest some terminologies. We think about it together. Thank you very much. I tried to make it short and in 7 minutes finish everything.
Thank you, Insuk. So do we have questions? Okay, good. Thank you. Can you share the other screen? From this computer, maybe? From this computer? Tom, can you see this correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so Maria, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I am happy to be able to present my second project, theoretical project, so it's not a practical example, as a principal investigator, but this second one is a larger one. It's a 2.5-year project. The first one was doing our strategy for research in disasters field at my university. Next, please. Okay. No, you can leave the title because I want to introduce my team. So we are a small team. The project is not small, but we are working a lot on it. So I'm the principal investigator. I have 2 postdocs, Adriani Bric and Mara Popescu, and the senior researcher who is a professor, Cerasela Crăciun. Next, please. Okay, maybe next. Okay, so the research question is, I am dealing with the heritage of early 20th century, first half of the 20th century, which means Art Nouveau and Modernism. And these both architectural styles were global movements. And my question is something which already originated in when I was in Pavia, if the retrofit for these buildings shall be different in different countries. And for this, we look why they are, for modernism is defined as a modernist, for Art Nouveau not yet, how the local cultures, the learning from the vernacular influence the local adaptations of modernism. I cannot go now in detail, but for example, in Germany, modernism was this affordable housing at the periphery of cities, while in Romania, it was built in the city center, blocks with recesses, so a totally different architecture. And we are looking at just 3 disasters, earthquake, flood, and fire, which I will show in the next slides. And as I was saying, I have, leave that, 2 postdocs. Adriani Bric is researching the part on the modernism as a local adaptation in the Mediterranean, as it is written there. He was to the Cyclades, and so where the Chiam 10 was going with the ship, and Adolf Loos and Le Corbusier learned for Vienna and for France, but we have something similar in Romania. And for Art Nouveau, it's Mara Popescu, who had already a doctorate about how the vernacular influenced Art Nouveau in Romania and Hungary. And this contribution on Eastern Europe is less available in English so far. Next, please. So this is a methodology. We have a 2.5 years. Stage 1 was first year. This was last year, which was dedicated to documentation. I cannot go in detail, but it's a recorded presentation I've done in Pavia last week, which I can show, send over the listserv. Now we are this year in stage 2, which is analysis. and we are just waiting for the publication of the taxonomy and ontology for fire. So hence the visit to Notre Dame would be more than welcome. We did less on image annotation and macro elements, what is written there, but a lot on mapping, and all this will be used next year for the decision system design. Next, please. So I'm showing now the disasters we mentioned. I ordered it after the elements, so Earth. Next, please. So we can see here some examples of earthquakes affecting Art Nouveau heritage. It's a city of Kecskemét in Hungary, where the artist colony was under construction when the earthquake happened. As written there, this is a moderate seismicity area, but still the gala hall of the city hall, designed by Oden Lechner, after whom the Art Nouveau days were set on the 10th of June, was affected. And the aim is to go there and get some archive documentation. Next, please. I've put here a slide on base isolation applied to Art Nouveau. Okay, it's in New Romanian, but it's contemporary with Art Nouveau. It's a variation in Romania, because this was not really, there was in Bucharest not really Art Nouveau. So you can, there's a city hall, which of course, because it was base isolation, it did not change at all. And this is the same and contemporary with a classical building in San Francisco. And the solution of base isolation was shown in the other project I was mentioning, developed in Romania very early for the, to avoid the demolition of churches when Ceausescu built. Next, please. The next one is flood, connected to the element of water. Next, please. So I was looking to the thermal bases of Art Nouveau bases of the Gellért hotel in Budapest, which are also next to the Danube. Next, please. So it was a little of water as hazard and water as heritage, and also related also to Art Nouveau at the Târgu Mureș floods, where we have some archive photos to research, and this has also you see here one of the emblematic Art Nouveau buildings in Târgu Mureș. My postdoc Mara is now based in Târgu Mureș. Next, please. And the last element we are looking to is fire. On the fire guidelines of ISCARSAH. So a city which I think we will not be able to visit is Alesund in Norway. Actually, there's a city burned before being rebuilt in Art Nouveau, and this is Art Nouveau Museum in the city. Next, please. But we visited a lot of Art Nouveau museums in other cities, like in Aveiro in Portugal, in Oradea in Romania, and even in Berlin. There is one less known. While I was in Rome as a postdoc, I participated at a seminar about the rebuilding of the Glasgow School of Art after the 2014 fire, and also my postdoc Mara was a while in the UK and also visited it. Unfortunately, now after the second fire is completely destroyed and there is nothing more to be visited, but it's an example like the one we saw. No, we will see next, please. Okay, this one is an Art Nouveau in Oradea, where I mentioned this Art Nouveau Museum. Is a Greek Catholic episcopate, and it burned during restoration works on the, as you see, 25th of August 2009, and it was reconstructed exactly as it was before. So it was a fire during restoration works, like in Glasgow. And next one, please. And we can come now back to New Romanian, which is typical for Bucharest. So here's Banu Manta City Hall, burned down in December 2009, and it was reconstructed, and hope to visit it because it's in Bucharest. So all these fires, as well as Manège Militaire in Quebec, which I saw in 2008 when I was there, and the Bistrița on the fortified church, which I didn't see in 2008 when I should, burned out during restoration works. So it's a difference. It's not caused by wildfires, which I was also researching, but it's really a fire during restoration works, and the question to be further researched. And this is why I am happy that we will see Notre Dame. Next, please. I think it's the last, but yes. So I'm open to questions, and thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, we are running out of time, but still, any question on this side? Okay, so Khalid, you are the next one. Thank you very much, Maria.
Thank you, Paulo. First of all, I would like to thank ISCARSAH and Professor Paulo Lorenzo for adding me at the agenda as a speaker. I would like, of course, to share with you some pictures, not all information and data related to the earthquake in Morocco. We call it Al-Haws in Marrakesh region. Because I was here when it happened 2 days ago. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, my presentation today will concern Al-Haws earthquake in Morocco, especially in Marrakesh region, held on 8 September, last September. It is classified as one of the strangest earthquakes the Earth has ever known, and the first of its kind after 100 years. It reached 7 degrees on the Richter scale. The depth of its epicenter was 18 kilometers below the surface of the Earth, and its radius reached more than 500 kilometers, which explains its extension to cities in the east, north, south, and west to the Atlantic Ocean. As you see in this slide, on 9 September, it reached about more than 2,000 deaths and 2,000 injured. Unfortunately, the situation will grow in the next days. You will hear a lot in the news broadcasts these days the names of the cities of Marrakesh, Moulay Ibrahim, Shishawa, Taroudant, Agadir, and many cities and villages in between. These areas are the epicenter of the earthquake, as you see on the maps. So here, exactly here, These areas are the epicenter of the earthquake, and they are the depth of Morocco and its great history. Marrakesh, which was built by the Almoravids and in which the Muslim Prince Yusuf ibn Tashafin rests, and next to its Tinmel. Tinmel, it's a mosque, we will see it later, where the call of Ibn Tumart, founder of the Almohad Empire, was launched. Taroudant, also another city, is the oldest and most ancient city in Morocco, and its wall is the third greatest archaeological wall in the world, after the Great Wall of China and the Kambalgach Wall in India. The sugar industry flourished there in the 16th century. The Saadi Sultan Ahmed al-Mansur al-Dahbi built his exquisite palace, we call it in French, Palais al-Bdia', and the graves of his family in the city of Marrakesh with marble that he imported as at that time from Italy. Sugar has been paid weight for weight. And the famous Sousse region near Agadir, the big city also, and the high Atlas mountains also, where the cities of Arabs and Berbers, Amazons, we call them Amazons, intermingle. They are the minarets of the mosque towering on the slopes of the mountain, the bookshops of the Quran, and the ancient scientific school. Here is the cultural, scientific, and religious depth of Morocco, the authentic Islamic Morocco that is not reflected in the facades of mixed large tourist city. What was buried by the earthquake was not only human bodies, but a history of glorious cities of civilization and great, passionate, generous people. Let's come back to the historic Tinmel, as you can see in this slide, Mosque, Tinmel Mosque, which was the birthplace of the Moroccan Almohad Empire and which was built in 12th century, is included in the indicative list of World Heritage Sites in Morocco by UNESCO. And we can see, of course, after the tragic disaster. As you see, unfortunately, and other pictures in rural area. But these are some examples of construction using local materials that resisted to 6.8 magnitude earthquake at 30 kilometers from the epicenter and can make a difference. The reason is the compliance with the provisions of the regulation, paraseismic regulation, as well, I mean Moroccan local, as well as the quality of the design and the implementation. Some photos were taken on number 9 in Tahnaout, another site near Marrakesh, of recent construction projects in local using load-bearing walls. UNESCO, last. UNESCO has announced that it will go to inventory the damage caused to its heritage by the earthquake and to prepare for its reconstruction. UNESCO mission visited the Medina of Marrakesh, and I sit the general director of the organization, Audrey Azoulay. The organization will support the Moroccan authorities to inventory the damage in the areas of heritage and education, make the building safe and prepare for the reconstruction. Of course, we agree with Paulo when we said that maybe or possible visit to Morocco. Of course, we will thank you for your help and your mobilization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Khalid. So, any question? Yes, please.
Is there any special ground condition of damaged area? Rock or soil? High mountains. So the most of the people doesn't care what kind of foundation. Foundations. Yeah, that's another problem. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much. We are running out of time. We are a little bit late, but not too much. So I don't know if Rahmet is there. I understood not. Are you there? Okay, so I see not. We'll hopefully hear from him in the next webinar, no? That team is planning. So I understand that Toshi would like to say something, and then Yohei will close. I thank you all for being here today. I thank again the two organizers for hosting us. We know the difficult it is with these hybrid meetings, but I think it went extremely well. Okay, so thank you very much again.
Thank you. So please give me 1 minute, and I'm happy to welcome ISCARSAH member in Japan, in Kyoto. This is the first meeting as a ISCARSAH meeting, so I'm very happy. And as a national ISCARSAH committee in Japan, starting one of the starting activity of the national committee, so we helped and edited the Japan ICOMOS report, in which the earthquake disaster preservation of cultural heritage experience and development in Japan. So since the Kobe earthquake, quarter century have passed. During quarter century, systems and technologies and countermeasures to protect cultural heritage, not only in tangible, but also tangible cultural heritage developed. So we reviewed those development were useful for the for example, we experienced two major earthquakes. One is the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, and another is the 2016 Kumamoto earthquake, useful for the protection of the cultural heritage against those earthquakes. Anyway, so we produced the Japan ICOMOS report, and this book is a little bit so heavy for you. So we produce the USBs. In this USB, the electronic file contains in this USB. So I will introduce the two members of our group, Professor Yokochi and Professor Nishika. Please stand up. And they are the group of the editorial secretaries. So, 配っていただけますか? Please distribute the USB to the participant in this meeting. And the participant. Sorry. Unfortunately, those who can't attend this meeting, so this report will be published in the website of the Japan ICOMOS maybe 1 month later or several weeks later. So I will announce it in the ISCARSAH member mailing list. Thank you.
Okay, so it's over. This is just let's finish up. I have 3 things to tell you. It's here. Once you finish, please go to the reception. Well, if you are going to attend the SAC meeting, you have to do the registration. So please go to reception. Now we are ready. And the second thing is the reception starts at 4 o'clock upstairs, hybrid space. Okay. And there's a one change. Well, in the last email, I made a mistake. We leave here at 6:20. So you see the bus spot at the back of this hall, or there are some local members. They will guide you there. You see the blue T-shirts. So follow them, and you go there by 6:20. It's in Japan, so we are very, very punctual. So please, and by 7 o'clock we will reach Ganko, the restaurant. So if you go there, if you are already in Kyoto City, please come to Ganko restaurant. You find the location and the information in my last email. So please remember the timeline. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm formally now closing the meeting to the present and to the large number of colleagues that were online. So we had about, I think, close to 60 members present, and I think this is very nice. And so it shows how eager we are to keep on the activities of ISCARSAH and to engage the community together. So thank you very much for being and coming to Japan. Thank you very much for being online on this very strange time of the day, most likely where you are. Thank you.